And Bruce LeVell is on the president's 2020 advisory board. He joins me now. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. I know that last Monday, because you told me, you spent about a half an hour with President Trump. You were in the motorcade on the way to the Georgia game. What did he tell you?
Well, and thanks for having me. I just left the King celebration, and I was actually sitting with Alveda King. We had more conversations about what this topic on John Lewis and the other Congress people who don't want to come to the State of the Union. But the interesting thing is the president did more questions. He asked more questions to me and Alveda. We were accompanying him to the game, and it was a very awesome, productive conversation. One of the things is that he was very excited about the black unemployment rate being low in the history of the U.S., as well as wanting to see it even lower. And he talked a lot about the entire week about the King celebration and how far we've come and how far we can go. And this came out of the President of the United States' mouth. He also was elated at the fact that this new Urban Revitalization Commission that's coming out, led by Pastor Darrell Scott and many more leaders across the country, that you're going to see this come out. It's going to be a tremendous asset to a lot of the urban communities, especially African-American communities. He's very excited about that. Also, jobs as well as business owners, black business owners like myself, Harris. I'm an African-American business owner here in Atlanta. I am a prodigy of my uncles and my family marching with John Lewis and Dr. King. So I have civil rights side on my dad's side here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm one of the largest jewelry store owners in the country, African-American owned. I was a developer. There's many more people like me that look like me who look at us, Harris, look at you, look at me. You're a Fox News, you're a star, you know. So we've come a long way. We do have a long way to go, but look where we're at. And so that's pretty much the temperament that was in the car that we had in terms of the atmosphere.
But that was several days or a couple of days before the remarks that the president is said to have made about Haiti and other African nations. Has anything changed for you?
No, absolutely. You know, it's unfortunate because, you know, you hear my good friend Senator David Perdue here in Georgia, and I actually saw one of his chief staffs here at the King Center this morning, and we talked about it. And, you know, you hear one version of it and this version of it, and the president said he didn't say it that way. But this is the thing for me, Harris, because we keep revisiting this with Congressman Wilson in Florida and Congressman John Lewis telling the world on George Stephanopoulos that the president's illegitimate. This does, Republican or Democrat, this does a disservice to all Americans when you vote your congressperson to go to D.C. to fight for your district, Democrat or Republican. I would be upset if we were talking about a Republican congressman, that my congressman was going to boycott a Democrat president. That we didn't send you up there to be the pulse or the moral navigator. We sent you there as voted by the people, for the people, to fight for jobs, to fight for, my gosh, let's fight for Kia or one of these plants to come to our district to create more jobs, like they're fighting for Amazon. That's a big warfare right now to land Amazon here in Atlanta and other parts of the nation. Those are what we elect our congresspeople for. And it's unfortunate, Harris, that my prayer, and Alveda and I prayed about this morning, that John Lewis and all the other folks would come on board and take a look at even some of their own districts that has a high unemployment rate, that has a high crime rate. And I'm not trying to throw them on the bus. I'm trying to bring light to this, that this president, the best developer we have ever had in the Oval Office, that understands people, that understands construction, that understands, like, taking care of America and its troops. So, you know, I'm elated at the fact that he wants to fight for the banking industry, to put small banks back into power, where loan committees look like me and other of my colleagues who can actually look at loans and say, hey, we can approve this loan for this African-American couple who wants to start a Subway. These are big things on the horizon. So I just say stay tuned. It's only going to get better. My prayers for Congressman Lewis and Maxine Waters and all the other folks is take care of your district. Don't throw hatred at the president and stuff. Come to the table and let's work together as Americans.
Bruce LeVell, we can see why you're on the president's 2020 advisory board, and a lot of talk there. You're talking about black employment being what it is now. the best in
Right.
45 years, that sort of thing. We appreciate you coming on, particularly on a day in which we recognize some of those that your family marched right alongside with Dr. King.
Well, I'm pumped up because Dottie Peoples sang "On Time God." It was an awesome song in the church today, so I'm exhilarated. I'm pumped up, Harris.
I hear you. I like the music too. Great to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.